Something that I've been interested in this week is movement of the shoulders. And often people ask me for, can you do something on the shoulders? Because it seems to be a place that many of us hold tension. I used to, and it shifts. My tension kind of shifts. And I love that I can really sense what I'm feeling and where I sense that, where I can feel that in my body, because it really helps me to be a lot more um, articulate about what's going on for me at any given time. And that really helps to kind of be able to put words to it, and to be able to then give myself what I need, tend to myself in some way. So, if you don't feel it, you have no language for it. But once you start feeling it, then we can shift from thinking about stress as, I often get clients coming to me going, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed. And it's like, what does that mean? Where are you sensing it? What is the thing that makes you feel stress? What's the stressor? And where in your body are you sensing that? And that helps you to drill down and then kind of figure out, well, okay, well, how can we prepare for this thing that maybe you can't avoid? How can we then recover from this thing? And so on. So being able to sense all of the sensations, small sensations in your body will really help you to kind of get a little bit more intimately connected with your life and with how you do things. So anyway, that's what we're going to look at today. So please come to lie down, and you're going to, let's have the legs long and the arms long for now, so that you can just sense, how are you today? How do you allow yourself to yield onto the floor? How do you allow yourself to let go? And keep your mouth closed if you can, but just breathe in and out through your nostrils. As you breathe in, the belly rises, and as you breathe out, the belly falls. So it's gentle, it's easy, it's even, if you can make that happen. Then notice how you surrender to the floor. How do you give yourself to the floor? And how does the floor support you? So it's not often just a complete collapse. There's a relationship between you and the floor. And so how do you perceive the support that you get from the floor? Any questions? But good to get granular, to kind of let your brain kind of sense and think about detail. It's that gets us out of that catastrophizing, stress, anxiety, whatever it is, constantly in anticipation. Very slowly slide one foot towards you by bending at the knee, and then slide the other foot towards you by bending at the knee. And then from here, have your arms out into a T shape, and you're going to make a soft fist with your arms. Yeah. So your arms are out at a T shape, and you're making a soft fist. And just notice how that feels, and make your fist really soft so that you're not holding on with extreme tension. And then choose one arm. So the arm of your choice, that's going to be side one. And very slowly, could you roll the whole arm down? So say if I choose my left side, could you roll that whole arm downwards so that the palm rolls down towards the floor, and then you roll it back again? And you can't see my wrist, but it's not just a movement of the wrist. And so the whole arm doesn't do very much. And you can see the stripes in my shirt. But as I turn it down, it's the whole arm rotates, and then you bring it back to where it was. And don't go at my range, go at the range. I'm not doing it. I'm guiding you through it. So it's a really different experience. But could you do that for a few times? And could you do it in such a way that you are just being really attentive to not hitting the place where you have to push, you have to use some force. So where can you naturally roll that arm in the direction of the palm going downwards so that it feels good or easy? doesn't interfere with your breathing, for instance, or it doesn't interfere with your sense of ease, where would that be? All right, let that go and maybe unclench the fingers, let them just kind of be open on both hands. And then form fists in both hands and go back to that same side, please. Could you again do that same rolling in the same direction? Make it soft and slow and small. And notice where else in your body do you feel the rolling action? Because from the fist upwards, because it won't just be the fist, will it? It will be the bones of the wrist and the lower arm bones. You can feel them rolling. Something will be happening in your elbow. Something will be happening in your upper arm. What about your shoulder blade? Which way does it go? Does it go upwards or does it go downwards? It goes upwards, yeah? And then notice what you do with your breathing. And you don't need to synchronize the breath at all, but just make sure that you're not holding the breath and you're not going super fast with the breath. So the breathing can stay where it is, nice and even and slow. And you're rolling the arm bone. Great stuff. And then let the arm come down and or undo the fist. Yeah, slide both arms down by your sides. And then from here, could you slide one leg away and then slide the other leg away? And just notice what it feels like to be lying down again in this same position that we started in. Legs long, arms long. And if you didn't have a memory, how do you know that you've been doing that movement on one side? What are the clues that give it away? And generally, it'll be, the pressure on skin on the floor, or maybe a shift in temperature or space in your joints. Maybe it's how that arm now gives to the floor in a way maybe that the other one doesn't. Perhaps you sense real stimulation in the hand and the arm and the joints. That's always an interesting question, isn't it? If you had no memory, how do you know that you've been doing what you've been doing? Okay, please bend your knees one at a time, stand into your feet, and take your arms out left and right. So the arms are in a T shape, and then make those soft fists with your hands. And then we're going to go the other way. So then we went that way, didn't we? So now could you roll your arm upwards so that the shoulder blade goes down your back a little bit and make that movement really soft and easy. And we're not just moving, it's like a rolling pin. The whole arm rolls upwards and the shoulder blade goes downwards. Do you sense that the shoulder blade is actually going downwards? And just explore that one directional movement. Don't go into lots of, don't go up and down. Just explore that one directional movement. And then notice, is it easier for the shoulder blade to go down, or is it easier? Was it easier when the shoulder blade was going up? And then leave it be, unfurl your fingers of both hands. Notice how your breathing kind of comes back to this easy pace of breath. And then make soft fists again, arms out to the T if they're not already. And then with that same arm number one, could you very slowly go, roll the arm down, and then roll the whole arm upwards. And notice the movement of your shoulder blade. And it's not just the shoulder blade, is it? In fact, you can take the opposite hand and place it on your breastbone. And notice what happens when the arm bone, when the fist rolls upwards. And what happens when the fist rolls downwards through your breastbone. And I think what will be happening is when your palm rolls upwards, your breastbone goes forwards into your fingers. And when your palm goes downwards and the shoulder blade goes up, your breastbone goes downwards towards the floor. Do you sense that? And just be wholly in that sensation. So sometimes, the mind will go off going, oh, that doesn't feel very good today, or that feels a bit stiff. Try not to attach meaning to it. Let your brain, as in, verbal or kind of cognitive meaning to it, just soak up the experience of what it feels like to roll your arm in one direction and then the other direction. What does it do to your breathing? Are you holding your breath in any part of this process? You're going to try not to do that, or at least notice it and change it. All right, let that arm be. And then let's go to the other arm. So side two, that was your choosing. You didn't come here for a reason. So maybe it's really apparent as you start to do that. And then this time you can roll your arm downwards like a rolling pin. And then you're going to come back to the middle. And then you're going to take it upwards. Have that fist nice and soft. And then you're going to come back to the middle. And the fist rolls downwards. And you come through the middle and you go upwards and you come through the middle. Lovely. And then do that in service to figuring out how your breathing changes, and do it in service to feeding new information into your brain so that you're really curious about how this side is different to the other side. You're just curious about it. So we don't decide it is because of blah, an accident or something that's happened, or this is really stiff. Don't make a story about it if you possibly can. Just work within the range that you have, the easy, the comfortable range, so that you're really dropping into sensation. You're not in sense making, cognitive sense making, which is often where we go. Because I think sometimes that gets in the way. I have a one-on-one, a hands-on aspect to this work where I'm kind of helping you with through your bones. Um, and it's so interesting when, people will tell me their story about something that's happened to them and they can't move this side very well. And I'm like, it's moving really well. And they're like, oh, and it's kind of like they haven't updated their information. They haven't updated their brain with this new information that actually they are fine. Sometimes I don't know if you've ever, and as an adult, if you've broken something or fractured something, and you sort of limp along for quite a while trying to keep the weight off of it, and then even when it's better, you're still limping along and feeling really anxious about it. It's like your brain hasn't updated its information because you are still moving in that same pattern. And that's what we're doing. We are looking to interrupt your pattern and just kind of ask, is it true? Is this thing actually true or not? All right. So you were moving your arm up and down. You're going to let that go now. And actually, let's slide the arms down by your side. Slide one leg away. Slide the other leg away. Have a bit of a rest. And just notice, how do you lie now? It's changed, hasn't it? And for me, now I always sense a relief in my breath. There's like oh, thank God, I'm not holding so much. So sense if you have that revelation. And let's try one more thing. So bend your knees one at a time, stand into your feet, arms out to their sides. You're making soft fists. Whenever you're ready, you're going to roll both arms upwards. So it's that where the palm rolls upwards, and you roll both arms downwards. And can you do it so that both arms are moving away at the same time from the center and moving back towards the center at the same time? And you do it in such a way, and get really interested in how your shoulders go up and then the shoulders go down and the breastbone goes up and then it goes down. Just get really interested in that. And could you allow all the movements that you sense? Can you actually allow it rather than standing in the way of it? Nice. What are your eyeballs doing when the palms go upwards? Do your eyeballs go upwards when the palm goes downwards? Do your eyeballs go downwards? Notice what you notice. Notice everything at the front of you, at the sides of you, behind you, to the distal parts of your hands, all the way back in towards your spine. Lovely. Let that go. Let your fists uncurl. Let your arms slide down by your sides. Slide one leg away. Slide the other leg away. And notice how you lie on the floor now. The contact that you have with the floor, the space across the chest. What has that done to your breath? And what's that done to how you feel? Maybe lighter, broader, spacious. I really hope so. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great weekend. I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.